Hello and welcome to Super Inclusive Saturday. I have something called Sun Fox India Pale Ale from Lazy Magnolia Brewing. And I'm in Louisiana. Hello, Ronnie S. Ron Rio.
Hello, sir.
I was trying to figure out how to use this Google Meeting, but I couldn't. I don't know if it will stream to YouTube.
Google Meet?
Yeah, you could do live. It's really made for like schools and businesses to have meetings and have up to 100 people.
Yeah. We've been using Zoom where I work.
Yeah, it works pretty well.
Yeah.
Look like you're tired, like you're just getting up, huh?
No, I was at the pool. I just got back.
Oh, it was warm enough for the pool, huh?
Oh, yeah, it's been warm enough for a while now. I mean, since February, pretty much. It's been warm. They closed the pool because of the corona, but they opened it up. They're just closing it at 5 now, so it's a little early. But just better than nothing.
I always find it, if I get in a pool and it's cooler than 90 degrees, it's chilly in there.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not a heated pool, right? Yeah.
Oh, it's a heated pool?
No, it's not. But it's cold when you first get in, but yeah, I mean, you get used to it.
Yeah, if that water's not at least, if it's not at least 90 degrees outside, boy, it just chills me.
That's not how I feel. I think at least 80. I would put it at 80. 80 degrees outside, I think that's hot enough to go in the pool. Definitely.
Okay. I couldn't take it. But I don't even like air conditioning. Like I was riding in my friend's car today and he had the air conditioner blasting. I was like, man, I can't wait to get out this car. All right, anyway, so I'm here. Shane Fudge said he wanted to join, so I gave him a link. I don't know if he's
Can you pull the StreamYard out a little bit so it's not so zoomed in?
What do you mean?
Like, I think it'll just show us. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I like that better.
Yeah. They got different features. You don't like this?
Yeah, I don't like it like that.
When you get more than 2 people, it's kind of nice like this. But when you have 2 people, it makes it too close up. When you get 6 people like this, they're like little tiny pictures.
That's true. Right. Yeah.
So here's Sun Fox India Pale Ale. And I want to thank my friend David for giving me this can. It's sold cans, bottles, and draft. It's from Lazy Magnolia of Mississippi.
Okay.
It's 6% alcohol, 40 IBUs. They say serve it at 45 degrees, which is going to be about 45 degrees. Good with shrimp, fish, and fried clams. I'm not eating anything tonight. I had too much food during the day. Spaghetti and meatballs. It says, now listen to this and tell me if it sounds like something you'd like. Sun Fox is a New England-style hazy IPA, and like its namesake, it defies expectations, lacking the bitter finish of the traditional IPA style. Instead, it radiates juicy hop aromas and flavors derived from copious doses of Citra, Falconer's Flight, Mosaic, and Cashmere hops. So that's what's going on there.
Yeah,
I like the bitter
IPA. It sounds interesting.
Yeah,
for sure.
To me, these are kind of like, it's a horror movie, but it's not scary.
Well, I don't think it's a horror movie.
No,
I'm saying probably pretty good.
No, I'm saying it's the same concept. Like, you don't like hops with bitterness? Well, we got one without it. It's like a horror movie, but it's not scary. Don't worry, you won't get scared.
Oh, yeah.
Scary about this movie.
Yep.
Let me say that's kind of like. Okay, so what do you have?
I have the old favorite, Modelo Especial.
Especial.
It's special in English.
The special Modelo.
Yeah.
Now here it is. Look how hazy.
Oh yeah, that is hazy. So you don't get a lot of those over there in Louisiana, right?
Oh yeah, we get a lot.
Do you?
We don't live in New England, but I mean, we.
I notice here, in this local area, at least like the Tampa Bay area of Florida, I don't see a lot of readily available New England IPAs.
It's the thing here now. Everything's haze craze. Juicy. Everybody goes around talking about, man, this tastes like juice.
I haven't really seen that as a thing here, even among the local breweries. They have some, but it's very, very limited.
My attitude is, why don't you just go buy some juice? Put vodka in if you want alcohol. I get real tired. Yeah, I don't get tired after I drink them. Thanks for watching, Joshua.
Sounds like he's a Modelo fan.
Yeah. I saw some Modelo Negra in the tall cans today, the 24 ounce.
Yeah.
We went shopping. We mainly bought liquor. I did buy one beer, but we went to this. I wanted to go to this place because I wanted to see if they still had those super duper discount Woodford Reserve rye bottles. I know you're not into liquor, and they did actually a lot of them, and they were only $6.99 a bottle.
Where is that? What store?
It's called Savannah Discount.
Like Savannah, Georgia?
I don't know why they call it Savannah Discount. It has nothing to do with. I mean, I guess south of there, if you go south of there, there's widespread grasslands, like wetlands full of grass that.
It might be kind of like Savannah, Georgia.
You could call that a savanna, I guess, but because it's a grassy marshland. But it's on Louisiana Highway 45 in a town called Marrero. I think there's like a Marrero, Italy or something. Marrero, California. But they got crazy prices. Like, so let's see, $6.99. That's $13.98 for two. That would equal a full-size bottle. Oh, well, a normal price for that wouldn't be $13.98. It would be like $38.98,
Yeah.
Or more. So, I mean, it just got prices that if you're into liquor, like you don't want to pass it up. And if you were into beer, like for instance, you would say like maybe, oh wow, I can't pass it up. And their beer prices aren't discounted though. They're just regular. They're not bad. They're just regular. It's the for whatever reason, their specialty, or if I was in England, their speciality is super discounted liquor, and it's unreal. So my friend David, when he bought $61 worth of stuff. And I only bought like after tax, mine was like $20. I didn't buy too much, but what I got was a steal
and a deal.
Yeah, well, I wasn't. Yeah, steal in a figurative sense and a deal in a literal sense.
Right.
So the haze craze is real here in Sacramento too. Yeah, no joke. Now this thing here, I'll tell you about it.
Do you mind if I share the link out in a couple of places?
Oh, no, feel free. It's super inclusive Saturday. If I told you don't share it, I wouldn't be very inclusive with it.
Right.
You can even post it in the... I tried to add you as a moderator. And I remember like 6 months ago I tried, but for some reason I didn't have your...
A moderator in what, though? In which group?
YouTube.
What do you mean YouTube? There's the Google Hangouts groups. And then there's the Facebook groups.
But you can add someone as a moderator in YouTube. And when you do these chats, they
like the Blue Wrench, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And I said I can't add him because I didn't have your URL, your
okay. Yeah, I know you have a couple of guys, like just very few of them, right?
Right. I don't add too many people, and then I mean, because I could do it myself, but I mean, sometimes it gets hectic, and it's helpful to have somebody that could like goofy comments. And I was
why couldn't you do it?
I couldn't find your YouTube account when I looked it up on YouTube because you don't have any content really, not much. So,
if I leave, maybe if I've left some comments on your video, so I think maybe if you click on my icon on the comment. Yeah, you can get to the channel.
So if you leave a comment in an upcoming video, the next time I see you leave a comment, I'll go to that.
All right, cool.
I'll go to that and then I'll add you.
All right, that sounds good.
Remember, I had trouble adding you to the Beer Talk 2020 because
I know you always have to ask for my email.
Yeah, because your name doesn't show up. It shows your face, but it shows up as unknown, which makes no sense.
Yeah, I see that a lot with the Google Hangouts. It'll say unknown for a lot of people. I've come to just accept it.
Right. Even
some people it says their name, and then some people it just says unknown, and I don't know who that is.
Even though you actually know who they are, like just by what.
Sometimes I know who they are. Sometimes I don't.
Sometimes you don't. But if other people talk to them, you can kind of catch sometimes who they're talking to.
Right. Yeah.
Hello, Bluegrass Stan. Okay, I'm gonna tell you about this one real fast. It smells kind of fruity, juicy like you'd expect, but not too remarkable in the nose.
Not too remarkable?
Not too remarkable.
You picking up juice on this mouth?
Yeah. It's just kind of bland. Now the taste. The taste is terrible. All right.
Oh, man. Jeez.
Hey, Shane.
Hey, Shane.
This stuff tastes terrible. It tastes like chalk, dulled down. I don't know what it tastes like. It tastes like tap water with some kind of, you know how sometimes like if you had orange juice left in a glass and you forgot it was in there and then you poured a glass of water.
Oh, yeah.
And then you drink it, you're like, oh, I forgot I had orange juice in the glass.
Yeah.
Like,
right. So it's kind of like a watered down concentrate version of the sugary orange juice.
Wouldn't matter what kind. It could be fresh squeezed orange juice, but if you just had the bottom 20% of the glass left and you poured water in it, you'd say, oh, I forgot. And this is what it tastes like. Now, if y'all want to go out and buy a beer from
It looks nice.
That's where, yeah.
What kind of beer is that?
It's a New England IPA.
Yeah, but it's made on the Gulf Coast. It's Sun Fox IPA from
or what is it called? The India Pale Ale? So it's actually not called a New England IPA, right?
Yeah, but on the website they describe it that way. You know, it's all about haziness. 40 IBUs, 6%, tulip glass. Well, I'm not drinking it in a tulip glass, but I can assure you that wouldn't matter. I mean, you cannot make this thing better. It tastes bad. And my friend David gave it a D. I said, nah, it's a C minus, but I don't know. He might be right. This is if this is their idea of an IPA, they need to get out of the business and go make masks or something. All right, Shane. Welcome to Super Inclusive Saturday.
Yeah, I've got one that's definitely inclusive, and one should include this in their the taste experience if they never have. If they like Pilsners, I think this is the role model, and I know you will agree as soon as you see it. But it's the end all be all of Pilsners. Pilsner Urquell.
Oh, yeah. Now there's a beer worth drinking.
Yes.
And Ronnie's drinking a beer worth drinking. So we got two macros, which are like infinitely better than this micro. Now I know what some people are going to say. Oh, there you go.
There you go. Yeah, you like the macros, they say, right?
Yeah, there you go. You're hustling for the macros. Wrongo. I hustle.
You're just an honest beer reviewer, right?
That's right. And if it tastes like blech, then it's blech. Czech Republic. Yeah.
This is a quality Pilsner.
The Czech Republic used to be part of Germany, right?
Don't even go there right now. He's trying to bait people. What now, Fudge? Shane Fudge?
This is definitely a quality Pilsner. I really think it's the best that I've had. And it's what all Pilsner should aspire to be.
What beer is that, Shane?
I agree.
Pilsner Urquell.
Oh, the Urquell. I've never had that one.
Oh, you're missing out.
That's actually from Germany, right? Or is it from Czechos? Okay, yeah. It's from the
Czech Republic.
It's the original Pilsner. It's like the very first Pilsner.
That's literally true. Yeah. But don't bring up the history because then it sets people off. Like,
well, I mean, it came along in 1842.
What does it follow the Reinheitsgebot?
I think so. Pretty sure it's a 4.4%.
Corner rice adjunct.
You know, these used to come in 12-ounce bottles, and now they're 11.2, I think.
11.2 is the European version, right?
Yeah. Did they come in 12?
I don't remember 12 ounces. I always remember 11.2. They were green.
Yeah, see, that's why I was thinking the bottles were a little bit bigger. They're different shape than they used to be whenever.
They were taller. But do you think they were 12? I don't recall that.
I thought maybe I'm wrong. I'm thinking that a lot of the European beers before they got bought out, you know, were still individually owned, you know, were 12 ounce at one point, but maybe they were always 11.2.
Yeah, I think they're always 11.2 because 330 milliliters.
That's a European typical measurement.
So the European metric system, that's why they were 11.2?
Yeah, 330.
Hey, you know what? 11.2, 12, it's really not a big difference.
No, but it is a difference. Now, they got us beat on the other end, though. So before we start talking too much trash, you have to remember our tall cans are not as big as their tall cans because our talls are 16 ounces. But see, their talls are 500 milliliters, which is 16.9 ounces. So we might beat them on the regular size, but they got us beat by 0.9 of an ounce.
So that's what we call a pint, right?
Yeah.
A pint is 16 ounces.
Yeah. Look at that beautiful beer Shane's got. But they got us beat on the talls.
Right.
Although some of them are, sometimes they don't. Because some of those European beers, if you notice, are 14.9 or something ounces. So they're getting screwed both ways. If you're getting a 14 point something ounce tall, that ain't that tall, man.
So they're getting screwed 6 ways to Sunday, as they say.
And blued and tattooed. And this beer is terrible.
I gotta say, it looks nice. Put it back up to the camera. It's got a really nice tint to it, you know?
Yeah.
It's definitely got the hazy look. The hazy, potatoey.
Well, let me ask you this. You like tap water?
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
You like tap water mixed with 80% tap water and 20% orange juice?
No.
Well, too bad. Yeah. That's what this is.
Damn, man, that's a real criticism, man. That's a bad review you got there.
Yeah, so folks, if you want to drink tap water, 80-20 ratio, 80% tap water, 20% orange juice, concentrate or whatever, get this and you got it. 6% alcohol. Oh, we were ranting and raving. I was going off at my friend David's house. I was like, I could get Steel Reserve 6% for $4.39 a 6-pack in tall cans, and it would destroy this. And I mean destroy it. And I don't even think that's that like great of a beer, although it is a good beer. But it's so much better than this. It's laughable.
On a different subject, I was drinking some natural ices down at the pool today, and I was talking to some people, and they're like, "What are you drinking?" So I said, "Natty Ice." And they started, going in like, "Oh, that's that garbage beer." They're like, "That's what you used to drink at a college party, and you would wrap a 40-ounce around your arm, and there was some kind of game where if you got the wrong answer, you'd have to chug the whole 40, something like that." And they're like, "That's the only reason that I would drink that beer." And I'm like, "Hey, it's really not a bad beer at all."
It's a really good beer, and
I was saying I think it gets a bad rap, and they're like, I wouldn't drink that stuff.
Well, if their only experience is time,
and they were drinking Bud Light.
Wow, now see, they showed you. If their only experience is drinking, 40-ounce, I'd love to have a 40-ounce bottle of natural ice. By the way, I've got.
Yeah, I think they were thinking of Natural Light about the college stuff, but I don't know if they even have a 40-ounce of Natural Light.
Not in Florida, they don't. But
I don't. I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, in other states they do.
Of the light version they have, and a 40.
Yes, and I have some 32-ounce, some quarts of natural ice here. Ice. I have to go get the bottle and show it to you. I think it's a quart. Oh, and today I saw a 40-ounce bottle of Miller High Life, and I told my friend David, I said, I never saw a 40-ounce of High Life before. He said, what are you talking about? That's pretty common. I said, it's not common to me, but.
It really makes you think how people just are so, discriminatory against certain kinds of beers, and just why? Because it's cheap. It's on like the cheap shelf, so they have this kind of perception about it. I mean, I think it's way better than Bud Light. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah, I do too. Sometimes the perception is correct. Like you say, well, Earthquake High Gravity is a cheap price. Yes, and it's a horrible beer. But you can't just across the board make those statements. You got to try them out. Look at this. I like Liberty Creek wines. He's on his third case of it. I think he's messing with us. But if he's not, good for you, because I like the Liberty Creek line. But that's kind of when you look at the history of it, it kind of turns you off, like when you find out that Liberty Creek was introduced early in 2002 with the Liberty Bell on it. And what happened in late 2001, it's like, oh, yeah, they were trying to capitalize on what.
Yeah.
When everybody was making American flag beers.
I don't blame him for that.
I don't blame him, but, it's kind of.
You kind of went with the times,
It's kind of like, let me capitalize on these trends, But Shane, tell us about your beer. Nina's going to join. Nina,
it's so refreshing, and it has a lightness to it, but it's got enough body on it. You get a lot of flavor from this beer. It's really high quality ingredients. It all came from the same region, the same farm in Czechoslovakia. It says here on the bottle.
Czech. No Slovak.
Is it the Czech Republic? It's not Czech. Called that anymore?
Yeah, it's no longer Czechoslovakia.
Or Czech Republic. What is it? What is it called now?
Pilsen Czech.
Czech Republic.
Yeah.
Slovakia seceded from the Czechia in January 1st, 1993. Hello, Nina. You already from Rhode Island?
Rhode Island.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
How's it going?
Hey.
It's going good.
Good to hear.
Super inclusive Saturday.
This is a great beer, though. I mean, this is a beer that would go with any kind of food. It's
a comment.
Great value. About $10 for a 6-pack. Pretty typical. 10.5, I think. Every time I go in the store, if I don't buy it, I always think about why didn't I buy it.
Hey, you said all the hops or all the barley comes from the same farm?
See, it says right here. In 1842, the Siddons Brewery of Pilsen brewed the world's first golden Pilsner and never stopped. We make it in the same way, in the same place, with 100% of our ingredients from the same farming regions in Czech, as always. So all their ingredients come from around the area of where the brewery is.
Yeah. Now, another interesting thing about the Pilsner Urquell is that when it was developed in 1842, the people in that town, Pilsen, they said, our beer is terrible. I mean, it's murky, it tastes bad, nobody likes it.
Yeah.
So the story I read, I can only go by the story I read, okay? So they had this brewing expert in a neighboring state. The neighboring state was Bavaria, the Kingdom of Bavaria.
Yeah.
And the Czech Republic was called, actually at that time, it was called the Kingdom of Bohemia. So the Kingdom of Bavaria, and I'm going to get to you in just a moment, Nina, because I know she's anxious to show us her beer. The Kingdom of Czechia is right northeast of it. So
didn't one of the big brewers didn't he die and his son took over, and his son like traveled around the area and picked up these ideas? Is that what you were gonna say?
I think the guy's name was Joseph Grohl, and he went up to Pilsen and the Kingdom of Bohemia, which it was called that 102 years ago. And he said, well, here's what y'all are doing wrong, and blah blah blah. And then he developed this hoppy style called Pilsner, because it was from where? Pilsen, Pilsner, meaning from. Anytime you hear a German beer ending with it's from that place. So Pilsner, Urquell means the original Pilsner. Well, it caught on, and before you know it, everybody in Europe and America wanted to make a Pilsner style beer.
And then, Ron, what about the Vienna style that started in Vienna?
But it didn't really get popular.
But then the German immigrants brought it to Mexico. Mm-hmm. And that's where the style was saved. And now if you go to Vienna today, you can't even find anybody who knows about that beer or who brews that beer.
Right. So Vienna style was started in Vienna, but it's not popular there.
Right.
Kind of like Foster's Lager. It's popular in America, but people in Australia don't drink it, and they don't even want to talk about it. Okay, now Nina. We're going to feature Nina now. That's good to know. Okay.
All right. Well, I think this is a Pilsner, a fine Pilsner indeed. Miller Lite. I haven't had too much Miller Lite until recently. I used to not like it. Back when it was in the blue bottles. Do you remember when they had a blue label?
Yeah.
I thought it had a more floral taste at that point in time, but I've been revisiting it, and I think it has a more crisp taste now. We'll give it a shot. But this is
Miller time.
Yeah, it's Miller time. Let me just grab a paper towel. So this is like a really, I guess like a healthy kind of a beer as far as
calorie count.
This one.
Right.
What's his name was a big fan of this, I heard recently. Dennis Rodman.
Uh-oh. I don't trust that guy.
I'm not a big fan of him either, but he was really exciting back in the day. I remember, finding him.
Yeah, he won a couple of basketball championships, I know.
He was always interesting. He was, but he, I don't know, he had some trouble later on in life.
Yeah, the worm.
But I don't know. This has a really great smell. I always found it to be kind of like on the fuzzy mouthfeel compared to other beers, but I don't know. I'm not really getting that nowadays. Let's see. I don't know. It's real watery. It has some kind of a hoppy body to it, or a malty, grainy. It has something going. You can feel it on your tongue. You get a kind of like a. I would say you get that same kind of hoppy bite from this one that you get from like a Coors or I don't know. It's a good beer. It has a nice.
Would you say it's better than a Budweiser?
I wouldn't say it's better than a Budweiser, but I would say it's different from a Budweiser.
Because the Budweiser on the we've had like a tournament going on.
All right.
It can't get a win.
I've been voting for it.
But it just hasn't won in the voting.
Somebody said the other night that Budweiser develops a cardboardy sort of a note to it when it sits around. Yeah. And I don't know if I agree with that 100%.
And there's people who say they get diarrhea from Budweiser.
Hams.
It gives them the yeast, I think, gives them a bad stomach ache. Budweiser has all these, different things that people say about it. So that's what I think it gives it a kind of a bad name. But, I tend to agree, actually. I was one of the ones who voted for the Coors Banquet over the Budweiser.
I say all publicity is good publicity, and people ragging on Bud, it's just could be like, I don't know, it's one of their comparable beers. It's like they're one of the few beers that they have had a few times, and they feel like they can compare something to. And
it's a good baseline beer. It's a good baseline because the quality control is real good, so you can say, well, here's the standard American lager Budweiser, although it uses rice, and then you can kind of like use that as the baseline. What else can
I'd actually prefer the Bud Ice over the Budweiser.
Now there was a Bud Dry for a while.
Yeah, I used to buy that until 2010. I used to buy that for a long time.
But
Never got a chance.
your friend David has a sign, right? That says
Yeah.
Bud Dry.
Yeah, I gave it to him.
You gave it to him?
That was one of my favorite beers. I
Huh?
love that beer. I love Bud Dry. I wish they would come back out with it. I drank that. That was one of the first beers that taught me to like the flavor of beer. Actually, and, you know, mowed the
Wow.
yard one time,
Wow.
and someone gave me a Bud Dry after I gotten really hot and sweaty, and came back in and was like, "Man, that tastes so good." And
I never had the opportunity to try Bud Dry.
It was just like super crisp, and it was like totally not sweet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, I think what happened was the sales, they kind of like, that company had a bad habit of never sticking with a brand and giving it any kind of attention. So and then the sales would drop off. And I know that happens because of trends and whatnot. And they just abandon their own brands, you know, and
They start pushing, you know, all light stuff, and because they see that's where it's going. Yeah.
Try Bud Dry.
So
Now,
Bud
what's-
Dry just faded away. I mean, I went to the store one day to buy it 10 years ago. I said, I'm looking for Bud Dry. And the guy's like, yeah, they stopped making it. I was like, oh, that's great.
I never tried it. When was the last time that you even saw it in the store? Like what year?
2010.
There was a Molson.
Yeah,
Dry.
it's like I was drinking way before 2010, and I had never seen it ever. I never even heard of this Bud Dry before.
It's right here. I got a bottle. I saved it because I figured I said, well, when they come out with a new label, I'll get the new label. They never had a new label because this is the only. Here it is. I
Yeah,
bought it.
I don't think I've ever seen that in stores.
I drank enough of those to back in the day. A lot.
Yeah, I had been drinking, you know, since like the early 2000s, around there.
And you
Oh,
never
yeah.
saw.
Yeah, you never saw it then because it was.
I never saw a Bud Dry. Ron says it only went out of
10 years
sales
ago.
in 2010. So it's surprising to me because I
Oh,
never saw it before that.
Cold filtered meaning not pasteurized. I think that's what helped it. You see, that's what helps Bud Ice. It's not pasteurized. Bud Ice is a draft beer, packaged draft, but you don't see that too much anymore. Packaged draft. But here's Nina ought to do that one day. She ought to come on and do Bud Ice.
I'll keep my eyes peeled for that one. I'd like to find it like a single as opposed to investing in a whole multi-pack of that, though, just in case it's not up my alley.
I wish you were over here because we have we can get 6 packs of Bud Ice tall cans
Okay.
for $4.39.
There's a price. That's a good deal.
Yeah, that's
$4.39.
good.
What are you drinking there, Fudge? That's quite the orange juice looking brew you got.
I finished this already.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that didn't take long to go through that at all. I just picked up. I haven't seen this before, and I like New Belgium beers. I know Jay, you don't like some of the hoppy meatiness that you get from the beers, but I've always the original New Belgium Ranger back when Rampant was out. Those before all the Voodoo series came out. Man, that was my go-to for a long time. Just that old Ranger. But this is one I spotted the other day. It's a new one. It's the 1985 IPA.
Oh
It's
yeah, I
amazing.
heard about it, but I'm not seen it.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
here's the bottle. Here's the bottle. So yeah, for $4.39 for tall cans of Bud Ice, we can get those here 6 packs. So you haven't lost anything in that investment. $4.39. But here's a bottle of natural ice, brown glass, and it's a quart. I can't find the 40s, but they only sell these in Baton Rouge. If you go to New Orleans, you'll never see it, I don't think. But I figured I'm gonna put this in my collection because you very rarely see natural ice in bottles anymore.
You're right.
You want to see? I'll show y'all some. Oh, watch this.
Well, you very rarely see anything in bottles anymore.
Yeah, no joke. Huh? Here's the can. The can. I mean, yeah, that's cool, Shane. I'm gonna let you talk about it in a moment.
no, I'm just letting you see it while you're doing something else. I was throwing something up there. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yep.
I don't know if they had the serrated cans, Craig, because I know Bud Ice had the serrated cans, but where they had like edges on the can.
Oh yeah.
What does serrated mean?
It's not smooth on the edges of the can. It's like beveled out, little edges. Every half inch is a little bevel all along the side of the can.
It's like a ridge. You could like
ridge.
nail it
Yeah,
across
like
it.
this. This is the original Bud Ice can. I remember when somebody showed this to me in '96. I was like, "What in the world is that?" See how it's got these
Little ridges down the side of the can, from top to bottom.
They're like flat pieces, and they go all the way around.
You have any Meisterbrow cans, Ron?
Yeah, I'll show it to you. This was like a big thing back in the mid '90s. Everybody wanted to have these serrated.
What's a part of the ice beer crave?
I don't know if it had any direct relationship to Dr. Dave. You were making some terrible comments. Okay. But that's all right. I'm not going to post them. Now, Shane's going to tell us about his beer, and then I'll show you all some of those other cans. And then I'm going to go back to Nina and see what she's got to say about the final summary of Miller Lite, and then Ronnie S. on his final summation of the Keystone. I mean, the Modelo.
So this is a like I said, a really juicy. You can see it's pretty unfiltered, pretty cloudy. It's a 6.7%, and it's they're using Citra, Simcoe, and Cascade hops. So you're getting a lot of tropical fruity juiciness, and it's really nice. It's got also some mango flavor and spice. I don't know what spice it is they're talking about, but you definitely get the mango and that Citra and the orange flavors you get from the Citra. It's a really good one. I like it. It's one of my favorite ones out of the Voodoo Ranger series so far. And I've liked a lot of them. There've been some really good ones. If you like that cloudy IPA style. So yeah, I would definitely try this if I were you. I'm going to pick it up again if I find it again. So 1985, New Belgium. Tasty brew. Really nice, soft mouthfeel on it. So
I'll check it out. Assuming I ever see it. Jack, you need to roll on out of here. All right. I guess they've been drinking all. A lot of the people making comments probably been having a very exuberant drinking day because they're bored, you know. So now
Yeah, all this talk about hams.
yeah,
I've
Ham's
never
a good
tried
thing.
hams before.
hams, it's okay. I know that Sutton loves hams. I think hams is fine, but it's kind of bland to me. But here's Meisterbrow, beautiful old can.
Yeah. Now, what's the relationship of Meisterbrow to Miller Lite? They're closely affiliated, or there's a relationship?
Yeah. Well, Meisterbrow was an old Chicago brewing company, but they couldn't make it. They went out of business. So they tried, but they just couldn't make it.
There's some hearsay, though, that Miller Lite is a reformulation of Meisterbrow.
Meisterbrow Light.
Meisterbrow Light, okay.
How old is that can you have, Ron?
Well, that's true, Dr. Dave. I always do say that. And he's not going against his old protocol because he always did say macro beer was trash. And he said that when I first met him in 2011, and he said it when we were on each other's enemies list. And then he said it after we were made up. So we had, kissed and made up, so to speak, on internet. So he is consistent about that. What now? This can, about 19. I can tell you exactly how old it is. I bought this can on US Highway 1 on the southbound side of the road. You couldn't buy it on the northbound side because that was the ocean. So it was at a liquor store in Connecticut.
Oh, really? Connecticut?
Yeah, and I went in there and I said, "Ooh, Meisterbrow," and it was only like $2.99 for a 6-pack. And
Now, what were you doing in Connecticut, Ron?
Well,
baseball.
we had
Baseball trip.
we had a project we were working on. It was called the Cruise America Tour, and we wanted to go to every state. And I had drawn out a map of how you could go to every state in the East and then every state in the central, and then every state out west on a driving tour. You had to make 3 tours. So we call it Cruise America Tour. So my friend Paul and we drove on the Cruise America Tour Eastern, and we were in Connecticut. So I was buying different beer. Like I bought the Meisterbrow, and I bought the Peels at that same store, Peels. And they had Dixie too. I said, look at them. They got Dixie beer from New Orleans. So then
you did 3 different trips, and you were able to do the whole continental United States?
48 states, yeah, 48 states. Now, Cruise America, the Central Tour, I went alone because he couldn't go for some reason. And then Cruise America, the Western Tour, it was too far to drive, so I took the bus. That's when I bought that Discovery Pass from Greyhound back when they used to sell those.
Oh, that was Greyhound. I thought you mentioned that was through National Parks or something, the National Park.
No, it was a Greyhound. They used to sell it. They don't sell it anymore. You could buy it. It was like pay one price. You could buy it for, I figured David was just kidding with us. You're right about that. Can you imagine me and Dr. Dave were in this big, long argument, and we were making videos, throwing shade at each other, and all of this stuff went on for like 2 years over what? Beer? Oh, man, give me a break.
He's really right. I'm surprised you would bother wasting your time with that stuff. You know, getting excited about macro versus whatever. Who cares?
It's good to be passionate.
You don't seem like somebody who would do that.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I was doing it because it seemed so insane that it was being done. You know, it was like people are really mad about beverages. So I said, well, if people are going to be going into some like conniption fit over beverages, I'll just go along with it, you know. And that started the whole Vienna sausage thing, you know. So I was like, hell, you know, I'll do Vienna sausage reviews if it comes. So I did them all, the ones I could find.
I like the Vienna sausage reviews you did.
They were like a little an Easter egg, more or less, in the background of your regular review videos, right? They weren't their own project.
Right. They were like planted in the videos. Always the same people on the internet are trolls. Yes, that's a good assumption to make.
Well, it's a shame you have to think that, but yeah, I guess so.
And that whole thing with Dr. Dave was so comical. You know, I used to watch his videos and I would laugh so much. They were so funny. Like the ones where he was talking about me, you know, it was just funny. It was just fun. People were saying, I watched that video. Weren't you angry? I said, no, it was so funny. I couldn't stop laughing. It was just so funny. Like him saying, I got the whip. I got the whip. I just couldn't get over it. It was killing me. I remember I would wipe my eye. I would literally wipe my eyes with a napkin. I was laughing so hard. In a way, it's like, I don't know. I kind of like egged it on in a way. Like I kind of like was part of it, you know. I was guilty of it, but it was just comical to me. But anyway, so Meisterbrow, Bud Dry. Once again, y'all, this was the tragedy of the night.
Yeah, it sounded like it had so much. It's a good chance for it, you know, and then you really didn't like it. It's a shame. It's a damn shame.
Kind of looks like a feet.
I'm sorry, hold on. Still can't go to a D though. My friend David's saying a D. I'm like, no, you've gone too far because it's not a D. You know, it's not bad, but it's not good.
What are you going to give it? A C? C minus?
Yeah, that's fair.
Which
is pretty bad for your grading system.
Kind of looked like the Phoenix Coyotes logo on that can. It was kind of a neat one. I'm gonna go grab myself another can of beer. I'll be right back.
Okay, we'll be on for a few more minutes. I'm not staying on late. I'm going back to church tomorrow. We're gonna have mass again.
Are you doing mass again in person?
Yeah.
All right. Good. I don't think we have that yet here.
We got to hear it.
Which is kind of surprising because maybe we do. I just haven't looked it up. Because in Louisiana, you guys had all these cases and everything. So I know your governor was pretty tough on you guys.
It
The
was
governor here in Florida, he seems pretty moderate, and from what I see. So maybe they do have masks tomorrow. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, I don't know, FACP. Their single selection has been poor, and it's not their fault. They just haven't been getting anything shipped. So I would say it may not be too promising, honestly. Well, Louisiana, if you watched the news, you thought, man, they're really strict. They put the hammer down on that state.
That's what it sounded like, yeah.
And in some ways they did, and it's terrible. And a lot of restaurants are going to never open again.
And the governor's Democratic, right?
Yeah.
So that makes it even worse.
Yeah, and I was ranting and raving about him, and I was saying all kind of negative things about him, none of which I retract. But
Right.
But a lot of that was like all talk, because like over a month ago, we went to a restaurant in Baton Rouge, and went in the restaurant and ordered the food, and we sat out on the patio and ate it. I mean, so it was like strict on paper, but in reality, it really wasn't strict. But people didn't. A lot of businesses didn't even realize it. They had one business, a gun store. He sold guns. He was like, "I never closed." Those people didn't bother reading the governor's order, because like the order was like, "You cannot do this, this," and then
it depends on the local police. How are they going to enforce it?
Right, but like his order had like another page of exceptions. What I mean is like the business owners didn't bother reading all these.
Yeah. So the police here, they were really. I mean, the local county here it's called Pinellas County.
Yeah,
they were really strict on everything. Like they took it to the T, and they actually went even farther than what the governor had said. And the sheriff's office was strict for a long time, until just recently. So for a good month and a half, it was some BS going on here. But I've been pretty happy with the progress. It seems like it's going okay now.
I would say our local police were like totally non.
The police here, they arrested a guy. He was considered a non-essential business. He sold like trading cards and kind of like collectible cards and stuff like that, and like things of this nature. And he was doing it curbside, so people weren't even going into his store. He was just going to sell to them when they drove up, which I don't even know how he stayed open like that, but he did, and he was still doing it. But then they eventually said, you can't have this business because it's not essential, even if it's curbside. They said you got to still shut it down, and he kept it open. And they ended up coming and arresting him. They arrested him for keeping his business open.
Yeah, that charge would probably be thrown out of court.
It was thrown out a couple of weeks ago. But at the time, a lot of people were rallying behind him and saying like, this is garbage and everything. So it was encouraging in that way, but in just even the manner that even happened, to where the police had arrested him, it was upsetting.
Yeah, I can understand that. Now, Nina, what you got now?
I cracked open a Genesee Light.
Oh, we can't get any Genesee products in Louisiana.
They're a good brew. I enjoy them. I think Narragansett beer is brewed from the same contract brewery.
That's right.
And they're very similar in taste. I think there actually was a Narragansett Light on the market for a while. I'm not sure if they still make it, but it was very similar to Genny Light.
I had a Narragansett cream ale once, but they don't make it anymore.
I think I remember that. That might have been.
I've only had the Narragansett. I guess it's the regular lager they have.
I got one right here. I bought this in Florida at ABC Fine Wine and Liquor.
Now, do you know what Narragansett means?
The Indian word Narragansett. I know.
Yeah,
it's a tribe.
that was originally an Indian tribe in New England. Or the area around there.
I went to high school with a lot of people who were from the Narragansett Indian tribe.
I have no idea what it means.
Yeah, it's a tribe from like up in I think it's upstate New York, around that region.
Yeah, I knew it was an Indian tribe, but I didn't know.
Ron, have you ever come across Heffenreffer from the Heffenreffer Indian Reservation? They had their own beer out of Massachusetts for a while. I never had it.
You mean this, the malt liquor with the European taste?
That is it, isn't it? Hafenreffer, yes. Cool.
Private stock.
I've been to their reservation. I
Oh,
wonder if
really?
they're related.
Where is it?
Like, I think the Fall River or Bristol, Massachusetts area.
Oh, wow.
It's basically it was basically a malt liquor that they tried to make taste like Heineken or Stella Artois.
And then so they probably could make the beer and sell it and not have to pay any of the excise taxes or anything on it, and it would be more profitable for them than as opposed to somebody else, right?
But it's out of business. It's out of business. So.
Didn't work out.
Huh.
There's cigarette companies like that, like Seneca is one of them. I think that's a New York thing, or I don't know.
Yeah, Seneca, you're right.
Like Seneca Falls. That's where
I
they had
don't
the
collect-
first
I don't
feminist meeting, right?
Right. That's right. Seneca Falls, New York. I don't collect cards. No, I don't.
There was a crossover for a while with Philip Morris, and they own some breweries. I'm not sure exactly which ones.
Miller.
Miller?
Miller High Life.
I didn't realize that was them.
Philip Morris bought Miller in 1970.
A lot of the Philip Morris brands, at least the nicotine ones, can't be advertised. Like you can still buy them. Like
Oh yeah. Well, they can't advertise tobacco at all anymore.
Mm-hmm. Well, they have them on display, but these are like behind the counter. They can't be. That was part of their settlement that they couldn't be on display whatsoever.
Yeah, but people still buy them, right? People they have to go there and they have to specifically ask for them.
So yeah, they're not generating new.
Right. And then once those people die, I guess it'll be never be sold again.
Well, it seems like Philip Morris is dying.
Hold on. That's why every Sunday on Facebook I post a photo of an old cigarette advertisement. I don't even smoke cigarettes, but I don't like this like hammer of the government telling people they can't advertise cigarettes. I'm sorry, Nina. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, all the cigarette, all that stuff's kind of gone out of fashion, and I believe I like the term dart when they call a cigarette a dart, and a lot of the period correct stuff. When somebody collects cars or whatever, they want to have a pack of cigarettes that's the same year as their car. I find that interesting.
I never heard that one. Have you, Ron?
No. I don't know of a good beer and whiskey pairing. I really do not. I'm sorry. I never drink beer with whiskey unless I'm still.
You got to ask John and Ilya about that one.
Yeah, if
I would say Jameson Irish whiskey, and pretty much whatever you like to drink out of a bottle at a bar.
The Jameson stout, the Jameson that's aged in stout beer barrels, and just a good old stout beer of any kind. They're great together, especially like even a Guinness. They're pretty nice.
Now, is that a Boilermaker? Would be the term for that?
Yeah. Yeah.
What was the previous one, Ron? I didn't finish reading it.
Oh, Captain Quint from Jaws. Crush it like Quint.
From Jaws.
Now he drank apricot brandy on Jaws. I didn't notice that.
I didn't know that.
He drank Narragansett beer, I thought.
Yeah, he was drinking Narragansett beer. Yeah.
Now, I like
Jaws took place in New Jersey, right?
No, it was
Or was it the real story was supposed to be in New Jersey?
No, it was supposed to be somewhere in New England, right?
Cape Cod, I believe.
No, I think so. I think actually
That's just
the story that Jaws is based on was based on a real story that was in New Jersey in the early 20th century.
where a shark was attacking people.
Yeah.
They didn't want to shut the beach down because of the tourists.
Yeah, it happened. I think it was actually the Jersey Shore.
There was a deadly shark attack in California the other day that I saw in my news feed. It's always sad to see and kind of makes you nervous. I'm always afraid to go swimming after hearing about a shark attack.
It's kind of a realistic story because, a big shark could just go around and decide to eat people. And then you could see that the city governments would be trying to downplay it, like, oh, it's nothing to it.
Yeah, they have to get the tourists and they want to get the money, right?
Yeah, I mean, the whole story makes sense. You got some nutty boat captain who's got some kind of like derangement going back to World War II, and he does all these stupid things that.
Well, this took place it was like 1905 or 1910 around that time.
Yeah.
But then they adapted it and they made the movie to be present day, and then that was during the 70s. Right.
75.
But the actual it might have been even based on a book, but I know
it
was based on a real story though.
It was a novel.
Okay.
Not to veer too far off topic, but I guess a good fish taco is made out of shark meat. And they're famous in Tijuana for shark tacos, fish tacos made with shark meat. I'd like to try that.
Cigarettes are dumb, huh? I always wanted to go to Tijuana, but I never.
Well, cigarettes are no dumber than vaping tobacco.
Nicotine, unless you're like a Native American who worked all day and you're sitting by your fire trying to.
I mean, even if you are a Native American, I don't think that it makes it any different.
Well, I mean, if you're growing your own tobacco from, and being a farmer living off the land, maybe there would be some.
Probably still not that good for you.
No.
Could be a motivation if you're addicted to it. I don't know. I'm lucky not to be addicted to nicotine, and I know that's a tough addiction to break.
Me neither, but like Ron says, I don't think that we should force people to change their habits. At least not from a government or a moral standpoint. If they get told to do it by their doctor, and they follow their advice, that's different.
I'd hate to be on public transportation or like stuck in a mental institution or something with everyone around me smoking cigarettes. Have you ever watched the movie One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, where everyone's just in there chain smoking the whole time?
That's how it was back then, though. Everybody smoked.
Everyone had yellow fingers.
I remember when my parents taught Sunday school, my parents were the youth leaders at the Methodist Church. I'm not singling out Methodist because all the churches probably were the same then, like in 1971, 72, 73, 74. And they would have Sunday school classes. Well, I was 4 years old, 4 years old. No, the youngest I'd have been was 3. Let's say age 3 to 6 or 7. Okay. So I would just sit in there because I was the child and my parents were the youth leaders, and they were all sitting around talking about whatever Bible topic, which of course at that age, I didn't know what they were talking about, but I was just sitting in there with all the teenagers, which to me, they were all like grown-ups. When you're 5 years old, teenagers are like adults,
Mm-hmm.
So, but they were all sitting in that room smoking. These are like 15, 16, 17-year-olds. So not all, I guess, but all the teenagers were smoking cigarettes. My parents would smoke. They kind of just like didn't really inhale, but they just kind of puffed on them. And the whole room was filled with smoke. And I'm telling you, no one thought that was strange or even unacceptable. It was just normal. And
yeah, where was Dr. Fauci back then?
Doing some government work.
AIDS patients.
Actually, he graduated, I think in 1966, and right after that, he went right into the government. So he was around at that time.
Yeah,
he's been around for a long time.
But that was when the anti-cigarette stuff kind of started, because it started in 1964 with the Surgeon General's report, but people laughed that off pretty much. But it started taking hold in the 1970s with those they mind very much if you smoke commercials. Shane probably remembers those, and then it just kept.
So they were trying to guilt you into it and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, really, in the 1970s, just like don't smoke around other people if they don't like it. Don't go smoke somewhere where you're not blowing all the smoke.
Well, that's like saying, wear a mask because you're going to protect me, and then this and that. Kind of along those lines.
Secondhand smoke, that's a good argument. Somebody getting cancer, lung cancer it's hard to really tie it to.
Well, people are trying to also say that if you don't wear a mask, you're going to get them sick, and so
Right.
you have to wear a mask because we're supposed to be protecting the greater good, right? This is BS. We're not protecting the greater good.
Especially from people that 2 months ago were telling us, don't wear a mask. It's not productive. It's actually a negative thing.
Right. So they try to guilt you into it. I'm not going for that.
No, I'm not falling for it. Then they pivoted. I saw it. I said, look at them. They're pivoting. I said, watch in a month, they'll be demanding people do this. So I don't trust these hacks, these hacks. You know, I don't trust these guys. They'll tell you one thing, and then they'll tell you another thing. They're up there preaching to you. The world is flat, and you damn well better believe it. And then a month later, the world is not flat. It's round. And if you don't believe it, you're a fool. I was like, well, you just told me a month ago it was flat. Well, it's not flat. It's round. Well, how can you just make these realities in a month? Well, anyway,
it's nice to use the tools at your disposal so you're not kicking yourself in the future for having, missed the opportunity if that, turns out to be the right thing that you should have been doing. So our governor has a requirement that you need to be wearing a mask in all shared public spaces.
So that would be like a store.
Yeah, like the grocery store.
A restaurant.
Yeah, or that.
What state do you live in?
I'm in the state of Rhode Island on the East Coast, and we're opening up. We have curbside.
But you have to wear a mask though.
In public, yes, and people aren't all following that rule, and there's really
that's not good enough. See, I wouldn't be happy with that.
Well, I feel that the way that it's been described to me is that the person, speaking, if you're a loud, wet talker, or you're, just exhaling, you could be a vector of the virus, and wearing a mask reduces that, and that we're only as strong as our weakest link, and that if everyone is wearing a mask, then hopefully it'll reduce,
Well, I mean, going back to that, just try not to spit on people,
You can guarantee
you don't have to wear a mask to have some common decency. This is the same thing it's always been. It's always been like that.
They show reduction in the, amount of spread that you have when wearing a mask versus not wearing one, and I think the gain is worthwhile. I'll wear a mask in public if it helps the greater good. There's a lot of older people here, and a lot of New Yorkers also that came and escaped the Mecca of New York to stay in beach houses.
Yeah, I'm sure they tried to come to Florida, and they were pretty soon after they made a quarantine. So if you're coming from New York to Florida, they said you got to be in quarantine for 14 days. So then people start coming down.
Same here.
But they haven't lifted it yet. They still haven't even lifted that.
For the tourism, being a tourism destination, I think they're trying to make it so if you were to get tested before coming here, that you don't have to quarantine. But I don't think tests are that widely available right now, which is a real issue.
Oh, I think also, at least in Florida, they're not interested in having New Yorkers come at all at this point.
I wish it was that easy. Commerce is commerce. People bring bread to Rhode Island from New York, bagels, all that kind of stuff.
Right. But it's
I was out shopping today, and I didn't see too many people wearing a mask, honestly. So it looks like it's dying out as we speak.
You know what I've noticed in my personal experience, Ron?
What?
I was thinking about this. So I went out to a restaurant a couple of times so far, and I've always been going out to the grocery stores. So in the grocery store, I see a lot of people have the masks on, right? And I think in the restaurants, from what I've seen, a lot of people don't have the masks. A lot of people are just going there with no mask. So I was thinking in my head, like, all right, so the correlation here, which I think is the type of people who are going out to restaurants are people who are not scared. They don't care about getting infected, this and that. They just want to, do things like regular. So they're not wearing the masks. But then if you go to the supermarkets, you're still going to encounter a lot of people who are under the mindset of, I'm only going out because I have to go get food, and then that's it. So those are more the people I think you'll encounter wearing the masks. And it seems to be that is making sense.
Yeah,
as
that's
compared
right.
to what I've seen.
They wouldn't go to a restaurant because they'd be too terrified to go.
Yeah, so the people that you see in the supermarket are not the same people you're going to see at the restaurant.
Good observation. I hadn't thought of that, but it makes perfect sense. So now we got to get off of this. I mean, we don't have to, but I want to. Well, we drank a bunch of stuff, Bossa Playa. You got to watch the replay because I don't want to go over that. But tomorrow morning I'm gonna be on for Dawn Busters very early, and then I'm gonna go, like I said, over to the church. But then John and Ile's doing
Stout Sunday.
Oh, I always enjoy that.
John and Ile's doing Stout Sunday, and I have a stout that I brought before. It's called Left Hand Brewing's Milk Stout, because I haven't been able to get too many different stouts.
I have that one in my fridge.
Where is Left Hand located?
Colorado.
Colorado. Okay. I've seen their products.
Yeah. Now, you've lived in Rhode Island your whole life?
I'm a native Rhode Islander, yes.
Little Rhodey. Little
Rhodey, yep. The ocean.
Are you a proud Rhode Islander?
What's that?
Are you a proud Rhode Islander?
I respect Rhode Island. I also respect my neighbors like Connecticut and Massachusetts. So we did form Rhode Island to escape from Massachusetts. So I always take
Rhode Island was the smallest state, right?
Yep, we're the smallest state.
Now, what is it? What's special about Rhode Island? I really don't know anything about it.
We have beautiful coastline.
Coastline.
And we have our state bird is a very important bird. We have the Rhode Island red, a chicken that can be eaten for its meat and lays useful eggs, which is like the best of both worlds. Kind of like having a turkey for your, official bird.
Yeah.
So the coastline, like nice beaches.
We have great beaches. I think
any different than like New Jersey or Long Island, or kind of the same?
We have this interesting temperature of the ocean that's very enjoyable with good waves, and it's not the same as the Massachusetts beaches, which have sharks like that movie Jaws, and again that's in New Jersey, I guess, as you described earlier. We have a very different coastline that's very you want to be at the ocean here in Rhode Island versus it being really cold all year or extremely rough.
A lot of big waves.
If you go to westerly Rhode Island where Taylor Swift lives, you have giant waves that are pretty rough, and if you go toward like Narragansett Beach, you have these really gentle waves that are very swimmable and make you want to go right into a beachy oasis kind of thing.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let Shane say a few things. He might have something to say. Also, Rhode Island was started by some people that didn't like the strict government of Massachusetts, it was a Presbyterian Calvinist government.
Roger Williams is who you're talking about. Religious freedom is basically what Rhode Island was founded on.
Right.
Nice,
So he said, I don't want to take all of this from you fanatics. And they said, well, get out. He said, well, I'm out. So he went and started Rhode Island, and the people in Massachusetts didn't like it, so they called it the sewer.
Well, the people in Massachusetts back then were a little crazy.
The Puritan.
Oh wait! They're still a little crazy.
Yeah, they were. They were really troublemakers in a way. But anyway, and they remained.
There might still be some troublemakers over there.
So they kind of started a bad reputation of like Yankees being like real know-it-all and trying to make everybody else in the world live like they live.
Right.
Kind of like a real problem. But anyway, that's another story for another time. But that's kind of how that reputation.
I have to rate my beers highly today. The Miller Lite is an excellent beer, and I don't know if Genesee I would rate it as high, but it's a very good beer for what it is, and especially at the price point. You get a 15-pack of that for $8, something along those lines.
Oh, you can't beat that. That's
that's cool. So it's like a good substitute, but it's not up to par with Miller Lite, really.
Well, they're different. They're very different. If I have some Narragansett beer, then Jenny Light is a great companion beer to that, in my opinion.
Okay, Shane, any comments?
These two beers I had here tonight, I'd buy them both again. Definitely will buy the Pilsner Urquell and
Oh yeah, that's a true winner.
yeah, and this 1985 IPA Voodoo Ranger from New Belgium's definitely a winner too. I would get them both again. But yeah, I won't jump off in the rabbit hole. You hear my dog speaking of rabbit hole.
Y'all join Scout Sunday if you can, and then Monday is Malty Monday, but I don't think I'm gonna join that because there is no way I'm gonna find an English barley wine. I told him, I said, look, you can. All these styles are good, and I like them. I like English barley wines, black IPAs. I don't really like those, but anyway. But the problem is that people are just not going to be able to find them, and so you're not going to have a big turnout.
This seems to be a big problem with Bumpy's channel, or at least with the Multi Mondays. So.
Yeah, but you can't get it's not that you can't get the brand. You can't even get the style, so that's a real problem. But I mean, he's really dedicated to it, so I'm not criticizing him for it. I'm just saying
he seems to have a big turnout, so I think people are going to try at least to get it.
I was looking today, but I couldn't find anything close to English barley wine. No dice.
What do you think, Shane, about that?
I've got some barley wines over behind me in those boxes. I've got a box
Are they English ones?
I might have an English style one, maybe one or two over there. I forget what I've got in there. Honestly, I need to.
How many countries have that style of the English or the barley wine? How many countries have that?
Oh, I don't know. I would assume everybody has barley wines, but
yeah, but he didn't say English style barley wine. He was specific. He said English barley wine.
Right.
Yeah, that's hard to find. Just specifically that a barley wine. No, everybody could find Bigfoot.
Yeah, he didn't say.
Well, okay, so maybe we should check with Bumpy on that one, Ron, and see if he specifically means that.
He said English barley wine, and I can't even get a barley wine of any brand right now. I don't know what's going on, but I haven't seen Bigfoot in about 2-3 years.
Some at the Steins, I found a couple of 2010s down there on the shelf one time I was there.
Steins, yeah. I hadn't been to Steins in a good while. Wednesday night is Wild Card Wednesday. Bring whatever you want. Fandango Friday, I'm going to
So there's no Topical Tuesday?
No, because I can do Fandango Friday this week. God willing, I'm going to do a rum taste challenge. I'm bringing in some gold rums now.
And then what about Williams' channel? What's going on with that tournament?
I haven't heard, but he wanted to do a championship between Coors Banquet versus Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Well, Coors Banquet versus were they the ones that won because the tournament wasn't over yet? We're still going to the finals, aren't we?
They won. They were the finals. That was the third place the other night.
Okay. So this is the finals that we're talking about now.
Yeah, it's the finals.
So you're just not sure if he wants to do it on Thursday?
I haven't heard anything about this Thursday, but it may be in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, might be this Thursday, but he's going to do Pabst Blue Ribbon versus Coors Banquet.
Okay.
He was wanting to do another tournament like this, but a different style, like a light beer.
Ron was thinking we can do ice beers and then maybe do
light
beers.
Light beers, malt liquor. I keep saying malt liquor. He and I insisted, he might have not agreed, but I insisted that we should bring Busch in. Whatever wins, we should go up against Busch beer. Okay, Busch is.
I don't really, yeah. Because we know Busch is going to lose because nobody likes Busch.
Well, you don't know it's going to lose, but you can make that assumption. But it's the number. It's in the top 10 selling. It's one of the top 5 selling regular lagers in America.
It's just not a very good beer.
This is regular Busch, not Busch Light. That you're. I like that beer.
But regular Busch is kind of like a light beer because it's so light compared to the other ones.
Just the alcohol level's low.
The alcohol level is very low.
4.3,
4.3. That's a light beer.
That's a delicious brew, though. It tastes like an iced tea, in my opinion.
And what is the Busch Light?
4.2.
So what are they doing there?
4.1.
4.1.
Bach, we could do Bach.
That's a strange marketing strategy they have going on.
Yeah, I don't get
you know.
A lot of what Anheuser-Busch does is strange to me. Well, that's it, folks. I'm going to get off of this. I appreciate y'all joining.
Anytime. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ron. This was fun.
Thanks.
You're welcome. And thanks, Shane and Ronnie and Nina. And so we had Florida and Rhode Island on the East Coast, but actually Ronnie is on the Gulf Coast.
Right.
So Florida is one of those duo coast states.
Oh, yeah. Southeast.
And
yeah.
And I'm on the Gulf Coast in Louisiana, and Shane is in the interior.
Shane's in the Arkansas.
So he had 3 coastal states and 1 interior state.
The great state of Bill Clinton.
Yep.
It is a great state. If you've never been to Arkansas, it's a beautiful state.
It's a state of mind. It's a state of mind. And I've been there. I've been there many times. Yes, you could drink before Mass and take communion if you're not drinking too much, I would assume. And if you fast
you can. Yeah.
You're not divorced, right?
There's nothing wrong with that. That's why actually I like being Catholic and
fast for an hour.
A lot of the things you're supposed to fast for an hour, but if you don't, they're not gonna not give you the communion. And as opposed to like Baptist churches where they're telling you that you're a sinner, and they tell you you're a sinner in Catholic churches, but they don't force it on you. It's I'm not gonna get into this.
That would be a good hangout, but some people would get angry and never talk to us.
I don't know if that's a good hangout. I like the politics stuff, but I don't know if I would appreciate all the stuff about religion. It's kind of
I would like it, but other people would get angry. What now, Nina?
One of my neighbors is her family invented the Kavanaugh. I guess her ancestors came up with the Kavanaugh communion wafer company, communion wafer and bread company. I don't know if you get those in your area, how national that chain is, but or that national that brand is, but they seem pretty big. Kavanaugh.
I haven't heard of that.
Kavanaugh is the guy who was raping women, right?
Yeah, who he made it on there. The skin of his teeth.
Come on, man. All right. Ronnie's just trying to troll people with that comment. All right. Well, hey, you can do Meatless Fridays if you want. It's not required, but it's
it used to be required, right? Back in
1969.
Until the Second Vatican Council.
They shut that down though for the big pandemic shakedown this past year, didn't they? You were able to have.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but I kept.
Honestly, this year it was a sad showing for Easter and for Lent. The whole season was.
It's always a great holiday. Great chocolate.
Very, very sad because nobody could really celebrate it the way that they wanted to.
Depressing, yeah. All right, well, we could go on and on, but I really do want to get off of this. I was really planning to go an hour, but we're 19 minutes over. But thanks again, and that's the end of the broadcast.
Right, y'all come on down to where we coming down to?
Southeastern Louisiana, or Rhode Island, or Arkansas, or Florida.